All right, good morning, everyone. Brad Roltgen here with the Fresno Bitcoin and Cryptocurrency Investors Group. Today we are talking about a little year-end crypto tax planning to hopefully minimize what we need to send to the IRS in April or by April. Um, Obviously, we are all going to, pay our taxes that we need to, but there's nothing wrong with trying to minimize that exposure, just like CPAs and accountants do every year for their clients. So we're just going to talk about that and how some options that we might have to do that. So I've got the our Google Doc shared, and let me put that in a link to that here in the chat. You guys can have it real easy. Where's my window? Where's my window? There we go. Yeah, and if you guys have other stuff to add, you could throw it in chat or, well, that's probably the easiest way, then I'll just dump it in there. So I got a few articles in here and just look at the kind of well, let me start with the one thing that's different between crypto and stocks. And Michael, I'm going to expect and anticipate you to just be jumping in and chat since we don't have your audio going. So feel free to do that. So there's something called a wash sale rule, which says you can't sell a stock, December 30th for a loss and then buy it back on January 3rd type of thing. Just because you're only doing that to gain the tax advantage and take that loss, like for 2025. But there's no such rule for crypto. So now that Bitcoin is down a little bit, we could theoretically, if we purchase some for 125 and I don't know where we're at, 114 or something like now, where we are at today, um, we could sell some at 115 and take that $10,000 loss, obviously if we had a full Bitcoin. And then in a couple days or the next day or the next hour, we could go back and buy the coin back and then, rock and roll. But we'd be able to take that loss in 2025, which, might be advantageous. So just, I know we've talked about that in years past, but just so we're aware of that part of it.
All right.
Had you guys heard of that before? Understand that?
Yes.
You got that one, Gabe? Okay, cool, cool. Um, had you, I haven't used it myself. I'm, just like Tim just mentioned, the just buying and holding has kind of been my thing for the last several years now. It's a lot easier and less taxes to deal with and calculations and all that stuff at the end of the year. But it
I'm
could be,
actually going to take advantage of that this time because
oh, okay.
one of the ones I bought has just been shit in the bed so bad I don't see it ever cleaning up,
Hmm.
which is Cosmo.
Cosmo. Yeah, now so you're not planning on buying it back?
Hell no, no.
Okay. So that the wash sale rule wouldn't even apply there, but still a great time to do that. Um
I'm just going to sell it and take the loss.
and right, yeah. And I bought some turbo since we talked about turbo one time and it's down like 60% from when I bought it. So that's one of those things I might buy or sell off too. But I haven't sold any that I really have any gains to offset. So that's the other thing is if you don't have a lot of gains, you might wait and sell it the next year, when hopefully you'll have gains to offset. Part of it you can carry forward. One of these articles talks about that a little bit. Hey, Michael, welcome back. I'm guessing we got audio and video there.
Sure we do. Can you hear me?
All right, yeah, excellent.
I'm clear, Michael.
All
10.
right. So, Michael, do you have any dogs you're going to get rid of, or you're just uh, buying holding?
You know me, Brad. I'm a buy and hold guy.
Yeah, no,
I have a couple stocks that I might get rid of, but that's not the subject matter of today.
yeah, and that's with all we've gone through, some of these bots. the trading bots, which generate, a huge number of transactions, and you've just been sitting there, yep, I'm still hodling, I'm still hodling. I'm like, oh, you took the easy way, Michael. So
I
yeah,
do take the easy way because
the easy way.
it
Yeah.
is easy way, and they really haven't made it really, really clear as exactly how you're supposed to do everything, right? Hopefully, this new administration will really adhere to it and give you as much direction as you have when you're doing stocks. I know it's very similar, but when you have all the transactions like you're talking about, it can get very complicated. But I'm just buying and holding, man. 2030, that's when I'm thinking of, you know, possibly selling.
Okay. Hey, no, it's always good to have a goal, and then you don't have to get emotional about, hey, it's up, it's down, or whatever. I know my boss at the day job um has crypto, and we talk about it sometime, and he's like, hey, it's up and it's down. I'm like, yep, maybe I'll buy a little more, but I'm not selling, I'm not selling, I'm not
It's a
selling. So
yo-yo.
exactly. Yeah. And he's doing the same thing. He's just been he doesn't jump in and jump out either kind of thing. He's got a friend that he mentioned that he got out of Bitcoin, but then the guy called him recently on Zcash, and he's like, "Hey, Zcash is on fire. Maybe you need to jump in." And I'm like, he got out of Bitcoin and wants to jump in on. I mean, Zcash isn't quite a meme coin and hasn't done anything for years. And I think what happened is um, some social media people were talking it up, and it took off. So I was
Isn't
like,
it kind of a privacy coin,
yeah, it's always had this.
like a Monero?
No, yeah, yeah, where part of the transactions are kind of mixed, like those mixers they talk about. So I don't know, but it jumped
I've
up
not.
from like 20 to 300 or something. So
Wow.
yeah. Anyway, a little off topic, but yeah, I'm just holding as well. There was one of these articles talked about the new form that was going to be required this year from the exchanges. Um, And that's something, you were talking, somebody was talking about how the things are changing and I guess
Yeah,
we're on top
Clarity
of this
Act.
stuff so much that it seems like it's happening slowly, but I think we're just thinking in a faster rate. Yeah. It was like a 1099-D or
Well,
something.
and I had heard that if it's a an American made crypto that they were not going to tax it.
I, I don't, s- I don't see how that plays. I mean,
Am I the only one that's ever heard that?
yeah. Have you guys? I haven't heard anything like that. Have you guys
No, I haven't heard it
heard
either.
anything?
So
Yeah, that,
I pay way too much attention to politics.
yeah, maybe it was an idea that somebody threw out. There's been, especially around
I, I
Wyoming, is kind of becoming the, crypto.
yeah, well, Wyoming is doing it, and under what's her name, Loomis.
Hmm.
Uh, but I had heard that through Trump that they were going to do that for, and there's like the ones I heard that for were, which the one doesn't make sense. Bitcoin, that one makes sense. Ethereum, well, that was technically started out of Switzerland, at least on a legal basis. Um, and Solana, Cardano, and Hedera,
Yeah, that's getting
RP.
really in the weeds to try to track all that. And it sounds almost more like you said, a political thing they're trying to, put, I don't know.
Yeah,
Again,
I mean,
and defining that, that's the other thing.
I think this is something that is addressed under the Clarity Act.
Hmm. Hmm. Oh, here is what the one I was referencing here, starting in 2025, crypto exchanges will be required to issue Form 1099 DA to report customer transactions to the IRS. So they have visibility to your crypto activity greater than ever.
Yeah.
Yeah, use Q4 to download transaction histories, which, yeah, great. And then good luck going through them. I mean, unless they're simple, you bought, 4 times a year and sold 3 times or something like that, you could do it. Um, And here's another one that's interesting is track wallet to wallet transfers, documentation between your wallets. These are non-taxable events, but still need to be accounted for to keep an accurate cost basis. And that's what these tools are for. Just like, yeah, here, use crypto tax software, Coin Ledger, Coinly, Zen Ledger is one I've been using the last couple of years, and I'd started with cointracking.info, but they all kind of do the same thing. And they're real good at it because they can see, okay, on this date, at this
Where
time,
they import.
yeah, it went from, Coinbase, half of an Ethereum from Coinbase to my Exodus wallet. And so it's like, yeah, it happened within minutes, so it can, generally assume that that was a transfer. And if it doesn't identify that, it'll come up as like a questionable transaction, and you'll see, it went out of one and went into the other, and you're like, yeah, that was just, a transfer type of thing.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's that due to that horrible boating accident.
yeah. So, yeah, crypto tax professional. I think those are still few and far between. Have any of you guys actually talked to a CPA that, seem to know as much as any of us or more than we do about crypto taxes?
I
Yes, yeah.
actually did have one when my mom passed away,
Mm,
um, because I had taken most of my inheritance money and was investing it into crypto at that time. Um,
okay. I've
I,
seen
you know,
some firms advertised, they kind of end up working nationally because there's not a lot of knowledge in that space at the CPA level. There probably is more now, but I know a few years ago it
yeah,
just
this lady's
hard to find.
local. It's somebody that my family has used for,
Huh.
Jesus, last 50 years, 40 years.
Oh wow.
And
If you
my
have the
mom used
name,
to, my mom used to work with her in a job. My mom was a bookkeeper.
okay,
Um,
okay. Hey, if you
she,
have her contact info, I'd love to contact her and maybe invite her to a future meeting to kind of share from that perspective.
yeah, let me look her.
You know,
I know her name, Toshi Salazar, and
oh,
I
you've
know
got
she.
to be kidding.
You know her?
Did she have an office on Palm?
Yes,
Oh my gosh.
you know her.
When my father did taxes on the side and he passed away in 2000 1987, and she took over part of his practice.
Oh, that is crazy.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, I I'm very good friends with her. I've known her for Jesus
Yeah, obviously she's been around a while. Yeah.
40 plus years. I've known her for over 40 years.
Yeah. Holy cow. Oh,
I mean,
it's
my
a
mom
small world.
started working with her and I wasn't even 18 yet.
Yeah. Okay. Well, cool. Thanks for bringing up that name, and I'll definitely reach out to her. Maybe, try to get her on here before, tax time and all that good stuff. Um, no, that's awesome. And I'm almost surprised for somebody that old that would be into it. I would think, the younger folks would be more into crypto, but that's okay. Age doesn't matter to me. It's all
Yeah.
about the knowledge. Um, Let's see here, a few things. Donate crypto. I know I've done that with taxes, stocks in the past, and I had some PG&E stock from, long ago, and I'm like, I don't want to figure out all these cost basis stuff. I'm just going to give it to the church. And so I didn't
Oh,
have to worry
nice.
about it. Um, Speed up business spending, retirement, hodl, realizing losses. Yeah. So a lot of this is not rocket science, relative to what we've done with stocks over the years. This was interesting is in this article, he talked about different crypto activities. So buying or selling, yeah, DeFi transactions. This is where a lot of people, and I think there was some legislation here talking about whether to tax like these rewards because those have just been something that has been taxed as income. Just like Michael, when we were mining, we got those rewards once a week or something like that. That was just income. Just like if we were a plumber doing a job for somebody and we got paid for that job, and the next day we got paid for another job, that kind of thing. Um, and then
Well,
anybody,
a lot of that occurred, Brad, prior to any distinct definition of how you're supposed to handle your crypto. So, I mean, I was mining back in 2017, and the IRS was crypto what? I mean, they
right.
were going after people who were doing $20,000 or more transactions, if I remember correctly.
That was where they started, right? In when they were trying to get the transaction info from Coinbase. I think that was their threshold. They said if you had done more than that, they wanted, but yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but there was no direction as to if you were mining or staking, and there wasn't that much staking at the time
right,
back in
right,
17, 18. But there wasn't that much of a distinction with crypto mining. I don't even think the IRS was even on that. They were, hey, are you buying, are you selling, are you making a profit, are you making a loss? You need to do something about it. But
right,
even that was kind of nebulous because they still didn't understand it. So
right. They knew people were buying and selling just like stocks, but they didn't.
they didn't know there's some guy like me or you were in there, with a couple little machines uh,
Exactly. Right.
mining it. I don't even think they understood that. I mean, people still
No,
don't
I
even
think
understand where it comes from,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
let alone that you're mining it.
And,
What
and,
looks
and
pretty
what that
clean.
meant.
Where's all the dirt?
Right. Right. Yeah. What that meant. Yeah.
I'm
Oh, hey,
actually
so we had a
mining midnight right now.
couple. Hey, Chad, welcome. And then we've got somebody else with a big long name that's taking notes. So good to have you on, Chad. Where are you checking in from today?
I'm in San Diego. I actually used to be an executive of a gold mine company in Alaska, uh, and it was very dirty. But I'm in finance, and this is interesting to me because I do banking and insurance, which is tax free, and I'm trying to get one of my clients with crypto to be able to hold his money between crypto and insurance accounts without keeping his money in the US dollar.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm working. This is very high level stuff, but I'm interested in what you guys are doing, and maybe we could talk later on too. But it's nice to meet y'all.
Yeah, I'm gonna put my contact info in the chat here and maybe reach out and we could talk for a few minutes sometime and maybe you could kind of share with us in a future meeting what, kind of what you're doing or potentially
Okay.
doing kind of thing. So yeah, always looking for new ideas and angles and everything like that. So cool. Welcome. Glad to have you today.
It is.
Um, okay, so again, continue with this list. NFTs treated as property. This 28% collectible rate, I never heard of that. Is anybody familiar with that at all? Is that like with paintings and stuff, or like when you have a profit on selling like a painting or artwork or something?
Typically, capital gains, which is a year or more, is 20%, not 28%. So that must have been a Biden era
Yeah.
activity.
Or is it a separate, well, let's just see, if in doubt, Google and see what it says.
Yeah, I mean, I've always thought that capital gains really, there it is. See, they jacked
Maximum
it up.
capital gains rate applied to sales of collectible for more than 1 year.
Yeah, but it's from the sell, so that means that he didn't just hold on to it there.
Right, right. If he sold it, so on collectibles, they're actually getting another 8%. Interesting.
Figures.
Yeah. Okay. Well, at least we learned something a little bit there. Okay. Um, yeah, interesting. Okay. Staking and mining, fair value money at receipt is ordinary income. It's like we talked about. And then if that gains or declines after then, that's like a capital gain loss, when you sell it. But when you receive it, that's the income. That to me,
Sure
that
sounds like
always seemed pretty clear because it was just like you were earning, you know, money, earning money for doing something. Now, obviously, your machine was doing the something in that case, but just like if you had a savings account and you had $5,000 in a savings account and you earned $10 a month or something like that, if they treat that as, I guess, as income or anyway. Um, DeFi, that's the unknown and hard to track because these DeFi exchanges aren't sending these 1099 DAs that the other exchanges are. Um, yeah. Although there's probably been more losses on some of these DeFi things than we'd like to admit. So maybe we should track those better if we can.
Can you have an S corp or a C corp own crypto or a trust or an estate?
Can they own those?
Yes, or is it just a human person?
No, no, no. I have an LLC and I have, it owns a little bit of a coin. So that's just like you'd have a bank account or, a company might own property. Because really they've considered crypto to be property. As
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I mean, if you have a C corp do this, it's a pass through, and you don't have to pay the taxes on it at first, unless you have different write offs. I mean, if they're going to tax you as if this is an asset, well, then you should get the same write offs as an asset. Um,
Right.
right? That makes sense.
Yeah. Well, no, now a C corp is not a pass through. An LLC is default is a pass through. I actually have my LLC set up to be taxed as a C corp, so it doesn't pass through until I want to take a distribution. But either way, you could still take those expenses. If you went to a class to learn how to trade, or like you were paying a trading bot, that kind of thing to trade for you, just like you'd pay a broker, commissions. Those
Yeah.
kinds of things would apply. But yeah, just like a plumbing company might own a building and 4 trucks for the workers,
Yeah.
they can own crypto, yeah. So just you want to make sure you keep it separate. I mean, I have a separate uh, centralized exchange for my LLC, under their tax ID, and it's a separate separate, wallet that's completely separate. There's no mingling ever, so I'm definitely got to keep that cautious, or be cautious to keep all those separate. But yeah. Okay. Yeah, these links are in the Google Doc. We can, you guys can go through them. Any other like specific questions or ideas or situations? I mean, it's probably more of these situational things that, hey, I did this, how does that work? Type of thing. Have you had any other complicated situations? I know, Gabe, you've done, a fair amount. Oh, yeah. And some of these taking losses when we've like really lost out. That's the one thing that I haven't done. Like I lost some funds when an exchange closed and it was only $50, so I wasn't, stressing about taking that as a loss. But that's one thing that unfortunately probably some of us have experienced those
Happened
kinds of things.
Ethereum.
Yeah, like you got it stolen or like, a hack or some kind of a scam, that kind of thing.
It was a crypto wallet that their last upgrade killed all access to it.
Oh no.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What?
Now I've talked to Eric a couple times. I have, I don't know, 5 different wallets. I have the seed phrases for all of them.
Mhm.
These are all from the past. There's only one that has anything in it. And I'm not sure which is for which. So it's kind of one of those, have to
Mm.
import all 5 to find out if anything comes back. But
Yeah. Is now, have you tried to document that loss and then, take that off on your taxes?
like I said, I've been retired. I have not had any income in the last, not, so I haven't filed shit either. Uh, I
Okay.
mean, it's,
So you,
I,
you haven't had
I
the
don't have,
opportunity.
well, I haven't had
Income, like you said, yeah.
yeah, I mean, I haven't taken a dollar in.
Right. Okay.
When my last kind of taxable moment in time, other than my daily spending, would have been in 2019.
Mm, okay. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out how you would document that kind of thing. So if obviously
Yeah,
like in my situation where the exchange is gone, I can't go in there and download the transactions.
yeah.
Yes, I could in my other tracking tools, I could document that anything that was
I could show
transferred
where
there.
I sent it out from Coinbase. That's about as much
Yeah,
as
to that wallet address and then just say, hey, but then it's like, what if it was, say I sent $100 in Bitcoin over there and then I bought, that other new crypto because that's what it was about. They handled all these little, mom and pop little, new projects. And then it went up 5x. Then,
wow.
am I writing off, $500 or, you know, I don't know how that would work, but that would be an interesting question. Gabe, have you run across that at all?
No, no.
Anything? Okay. Um,
It just sounds like capital gains to me.
well, or if it's a capital loss if you actually lost the coin. I
Well,
know
if you
there's,
lost, yeah, then it should be an offset.
yeah, yeah. I know that.
I
Yeah.
would, do I have Toshi's number?
I can get it. If not, I can go by the office if she's still there. Yeah.
Yeah, as far as I mean, I'm on good enough terms that she would, if I said, hey, this is Tim, she'd be like, I haven't heard from him. My ex-wife even uses her for doing her taxes still.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, yeah. Don't worry about that. I mean, just the name is like that's 500% good on that. So I appreciate you knowing, getting that knowledge
Yeah,
out of you. That's awesome. Okay.
I
Any
think
other
it's very,
situations you guys can think of where,
yeah, I got her address and phone number.
okay, maybe throw it in the chat if you can.
Okay.
It's still on Palm. Yeah, I mean, that was like a brand new building back when.
I've never been to her building. I've only ever been to her house.
Oh, okay.
But
Yep.
like I said, that's how well we know her.
Yeah. Yeah. All good. All good. Okay. Um, let's see. Okay, Michael, any other questions you might have? You're kind of a bad one to ask because you haven't done you're doing too much hodling for us.
Yes, yes. I refrained from losses. I had plenty of those earlier on. So I just sit and hold and wait. And Although for the first time this past week, I'm looking at selling the house I live in now and buying a different house. And I actually
Oh,
thought about selling it and to put towards uh, the down on my new house. That's the first time in like 7 years I thought that, and then I slapped myself around a little bit, and I decided not to do it.
well,
'Cause
especially, paying property taxes. Oh, you know what? You're old enough you could transfer your tax base. So
yes,
since
yeah,
that comes up, that's my day job, and my sister t trans she got a house and she's only a few years from being able to do that. I'm like, wait, wait, wait. Now she's paying double the property tax, but
yikes.
she had a good reason for doing it, so I can't fault her for that. Um, okay. Well, I thought you were going to say you're going to sell your house and rent and put the money into Bitcoin.
No, 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 no. I'm more interested now in not having house payments.
Okay.
So that's really where I'm at. So I don't know. I'll never really sell. I mean, I'm going to have a huge tax thing. I mean, my cost basis, according to Coinbase, is like I thought it was 19,000, but it's only 17,000 per.
Nice. Good problem to
So
have, Michael. Good problem to have.
yeah, well, it's going to be a huge tax thing. So so I paid a lot of attention, taking some notes on some of the things you've shown here, because eventually this will be something I'll have to deal with painfully.
Yeah, for sure. Chad, did you have a question?
Yeah, because I do loans and I two finance licenses, so I do a lot of business funding for people. But I've done cash out refis on investors' rental portfolios that they've used that money to swing trade crypto, and then they just make their loan payments with their renters, and then they just keep they've I know two people that have done that. So if you're thinking of doing that, you don't have to sell your house. Just get a loan. I'll help you do it if you want to, but I don't know if you have that. Is that a good idea, Brad? That other people do that if they know something's going to go up 15% and then get a loan for like 8%.
Yeah, I mean on paper it sounds good, but is if the trade is not a winning trade, then you have more of a problem. But it can work. I mean, it's just leverage. It's like how much
Yeah.
leverage do you want to do? Generally, the lower the better in my book. But there's
Yeah,
some situations that if you just play it right and the timing is right, dang. I look back at, oh, I could have done that, I could have done that, but at the time, that sounded like something crazy. But looking back, yeah, would have been a winning move, but I don't have that much in my gut to do that. So, but yeah, that's cool to hear that it's been a winning strategy for somebody. That's cool. Cool, cool. All right, let me just scan through here and see if there's anything else. There's one that talked about how you can uh if you have if you have a loss, you can take it against um your ordinary income, but you can only do that like $3,000 a
ouch.
year. And then but you can
I got
here we
15
go.
grand.
Yeah, if your total capital losses exceed your total capital gains, you can use up to 3,000 of the excess loss to reduce your ordinary income, like your salary. And then, if you lost 10,000, then 7,000 of that would be carried forward to the next year, type of thing.
Okay.
So, yeah, here we go. Like we talked about, unlike stocks, cryptocurrency is not currently subject to the wash sale rule, which prevents investors from claiming a loss if they repurchase the same or substantially identical security within 30 days. Um, yeah, good. And like Michael said, the short-term gains versus the long-term gains, more than a year, less than a year, type of thing. Donating again, get your records ready. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions you guys have, or I thought we might have more interesting scenarios or that kind of thing to talk about, but maybe we're just too simple. Let's see. The person that was just recording and taking notes, any comments or questions you had?
Oh, that's my note taker.
Oh, that's you. Okay. Okay, got it. Oh, and I got the info, Tim. Thanks. That's exactly the office I was talking about.
Yeah. I
Cool.
figured I would put her office and not her home address.
Good idea. Good idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. Okay. Um, okay, Gabe, any other thoughts or ideas?
Oh, none, none.
Okay. Ideas for future topics on our meetings?
I will actually throw something out there since it's relevant for myself.
Okay.
Um, and you heard this kind of. I'm already I'm as I describe it. I'm so tired. I'm retired. Um, but I'm moving to the Philippines,
Oh,
and so my intention had been to do that at the quote end of this bull cycle, which is like seems more like bullshit than a bull cycle, but
hmm.
um, I had I had told myself, and this was like, geez, 2.5 years ago, that I would not sell anything, and I haven't until the end of November of 2025. But then the way that, with tariffs and uh, the way geopolitics has gone and everything else, it has looked more like the quote bull cycle has been, as I described it, being pushed more to the right. So it's
Out in the
being
future.
greatly delayed.
Okay.
As most people know, the bull cycle is generally influenced by the business cycle, which is influenced by global liquidity, which is influenced by M2. But under Biden, he printed so much cash
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
they've basically been, quantitative tightening for a long time now. They're really any global any quote QE that they have been doing has been done on the sly, shall we say. Uh, Now that they've dropped interest rates 2 times, or they're getting ready to, I guess, for a second time, they're predicting, and since the quote Genius Act has been done, which is just another way to prop up the fiat currency and continue bond sales through stable coins,
Yeah.
that everything's being shifted off and has not started or happened yet. Uh, I'm looking forward to the day it does. Um, but I also understand both why it hasn't happened, because as soon as they go through and they start doing that, well, inflation's going to tag back up all over again. It's inevitable.
And so that's delaying your move to the Philippines? Is that
That's been delaying my move.
okay?
I had told myself that I wasn't going to move to the Philippines until the end of the bull cycle, just because I've, I've, I have not had any income for 6 years. So I've been kind of like, fuck taxes. Uh,
Is it more the time or a dollar amount for Bitcoin that you're kind of targeting?
I'm not selling any of my Bitcoin till it's $1 million a coin.
Okay.
I have enough of other coins. I don't do only Bitcoin. Like I have a $15,000 loss to write off with Cosmo alone. But I have all the other coins like Ethereum, they're just going to make more of it. So, it's not scarce.
Right, right.
It may cost me more to acquire it later on, but the staking rewards from it is not worthy of it's not quote an income. Cosmo, if in theory it hadn't, depreciated 60+%, I would have actually had enough of it because it was one of these that was paying out like, almost 14%. And at the time that sounded really good. Now I understand where the 14% came from. I'm just curious where the other 40% went.
Got it. So kind of to wrap all that up together, do you have any strategies that we can use or take advantage of?
Yeah, Philippines is great. It's just shitty for earthquakes and typhoons. They've had 21 of them so far this year.
Okay.
So
Okay. I was thinking more from the crypto standpoint, but that's good too.
I've already gone and looked up in Angeles City. There's an app called now it's called Club Orange. It was called Orange Pill app that lists all these different meetups. That's actually how I found out about your meetup through Eric.
Right, because he
And
posted on there. Yeah, that was awesome.
yeah, and that's also how I got Angela, Angel and
Angel and Angelo. Right. That's way
yeah,
confusing. Their names are so close.
I know. It's kind of like, yeah, but that was where he contacted me because I list Madera as my place of residence.
Oh, right. Yeah, because they're big in Madeira. Right, right.
Yeah, and they're in Madera. And so I literally, I don't talk online. I don't do Facebook. I don't do Instagram or Twitter.
Right, right.
They're
Okay.
social engineering applications. Let's call them what they truly are.
Exactly.
And I'm definitely not rather blend into the background.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Well, keep us
so,
updated on the
but there's definitely a few meetups that happen in the Philippines. And yeah, I mean I'll stay in touch on some level.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Okay. Well, yeah, and keep us. Oh, go ahead, Chad.
Tech is very interesting listening to your last comments. I did a lot of loans in 2021 and 22 when the interest rates were like 2.875 and millennials were still complaining. But when Biden printed all that money and the S&P 500, it just bloated up 22% year over year return. You're never going to get that again. Like that's crazy. And so everybody's wealth in the country was overinflated by fakeness, really. And so right now, I hope Powell can fight off Trump and all the pressure he's getting to not lower rates. And I'm in mortgages, so I make more money. But I mean, I don't think it's good for us. If we can't get cheap rates anymore, it's gonna. But if rates go down, do you think the crypto market, the cap's gonna go up? And is that what you're saying, kind of?
100%.
Okay.
But is it because of the interest rates or because the M2 is
Because you
increasing?
can borrow more money. Like people are borrowing out. Like I told you,
the bottom line is our government has to refinance its debt every 4 years.
Yeah.
and it can't afford to refinance it right now. When you're paying $1 trillion 1 year, when your interest payment exceeds your military expenditures each year, you are ready to kiss the Blarney Stone of walls. It's inevitable. It's going to happen. But the bottom line is that's not a bug of the system. That is one of the features that there is no way to pay off the national debt. There's not enough money. Every time you print $1 and put it out on the market, $1 plus interest is due. The interest is never created, only the principal. So you're constantly treading water, and the only way you cannot drown is to take another loan out. And that is our monetary system.
Yeah.
That's what the Federal Reserve is. It is not federal. It's a private corporation. There is no reserve, but it is a system, and you're the one who's getting done.
Yep. Okay. Very cool. All right. Well, I think we'll call it a day for a meeting now. If you guys have any other topics you want to talk about in the future, feel free to shoot me a
Is anybody else
text or email.
farming or mining midnight?
I don't think. Yeah, I'm not. I'm just running a theta node is about all I'm doing. Michael, are you still
Mining?
running any kind of mining now and then here?
It is completely unprofitable now. I mean,
Yeah.
I've got, almost 50 solar panels up here, so it's not like power is a problem. It's just that you don't make any money. I
Yeah.
mean, if you want, it would be better just to buy it and then hold it than to
Right.
try to mine
Right.
anything.
Tim, is Midnight profitable for you?
The Midnight is a privacy chain associated with Cardano. And so what they did is they took a snapshot of 5 different chains back in June of last year, I think, June or July. And anybody who had more than $100 in a wallet, exchanges don't count because you don't got your keys. But if you had it in a wallet or it was on chain for Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, XRP, and Solana, then you were, quote, eligible for this, what they call the glacier drop. But you had to go through and take and actually make a claim on that. That ended about 40 days ago or something. And so now phase 2 is happening, which is called the scavenger mining. And so basically you go in, you type an unused Cardano address, you take and accept the message, you sign it, and you go through, and this is all done in your web browser. No special hardware, just keep the browser window open, and it will take and start a session mining. So far, I've been running this for about 4 days, and I've made roughly 214 midnight tokens. But it's not like those are sitting in my wallet. There's no, quote, price established on them yet, but it is a privacy token. It uses ZK snarks and some other fancy stuff to go through and take and maintain privacy. So they're looking at using this very large in the medical fields, because you could turn around and put your identity and all your medical records onto the chain. But you don't have to disclose all the information. You're able to selectively expose what part of your quote chart anybody, like, your doctor that you're getting ready to go to, has access to. But this would enable you to take and have all of that online and yet not be putting what they call PPI, personal or PII,
Oh, yeah, private identity.
personal identity information. Yeah, PII. And so, it's HIPAA compliant. Charles, who is the guy who's behind Cardano, is really very interesting. He's got a medical practice in Wyoming with like 74,000 patients. And so they're looking at using this for doing everything from clinical trials to, storing medical records and all kinds of other things. But like I said, if you have at least 100 for the scavenger mining, you don't have to have had anything to have participated in the glacier drop. You had to have at least $100 on chain or in a wallet that was supported, which wasn't a lot. Tangem, what I use, wasn't. So I could claim it, but I could not actually sign the message to be able to take in. There was about, I only checked Ethereum and Bitcoin, and I had like over 3,000 tokens I was eligible for.
Yeah.
And I do have all of the others. But this is a real easy way. Everybody's probably got a desktop machine that stays on, or in my case, a laptop, and you open a browser window, you sign into this thing, and there's basically 3 steps, and you're taking, and at that point, you're solving cryptographic challenges in your web browser window. There's been 504 solutions put out. I've submitted 119, and I am eligible for around 214 tokens. How much those will be worth, we won't know for 6 or 8 months.
Yeah. Hey, maybe shoot me,
happen
Tim, maybe on that,
Thursday.
shoot me like an email with just like the bullet points on how to do that, and I'll share that with the rest of the group and
Yeah.
that out in the message. That sounds something at
Well,
least
and
fun
another
to
one
play
I
with.
would actually put out there for the rest of the group. There's a thing and we talked a teeny bit about this. Do I have a window to that open? Hold on, let me open up a dashboard.
Is that you want to share your screen?
Um,
Share that with us, or maybe we need to do a whole meeting on this.
yeah, this is one that you wanted me to cover in a meeting. So it's by a company called CCGI, which is
Right.
the Crypto Capital Venture AI and .ai, and it is a exit planner. And so this enables you to basically
Right.
track the various currencies that you have, put in a price and how much you have, and then track them in terms of various risk models, and basically make a plan for how you're going to exit. Are you going to exit based on price? Are you going to exit based on the risk model? And because we don't know, as I had said earlier, everything seems to have been shifted greatly to the right. And but it's interesting. It's like it has a dashboard that you can put a bunch of different things up. It has risk models. It has a bull and bear arena that enables you to take and track what each crypto is phase wise. It has a bunch of different on-chain metrics like dormant supply, hashed ribbons, hodl waves, LTH versus MVRV long-term holder, MCAP, thermocaps, MVRZ, Z-scores, NJPL, net unrealized profit and loss, Pule multiples,
Yeah, Tim,
reserve.
I remember you sharing this with me at the in person, and it was like this is a whole separate thing. Let's
Yeah.
yeah, let's plan on that because rattling off all this off, I'm like, and I even know kind of what you're talking about, and it's going over my head. So,
What
Hold
website
on.
is that again? Can you type it in the chat?
yeah, maybe yeah,
Yeah.
drop a link in the chat there, and then
Yeah.
we'll follow around.
Basically, they give, there's a 40% discount right now. But you can get a 7-day trial for free. And then if you don't like it, you just cancel. I looked at it. I was going to buy it for the quote lifetime, which was like 1,700. But I sat there and thought about it. And it's like, man, I don't even know what the hell I'm going to be doing if I'm leaving the United States. Am I going to stay in crypto? Everything is, I know I'm not selling, I'm not touching any of my Bitcoin until it's sitting at 1 million each. But so I did turn around and basically buy a full year's worth. And then, I'll figure out. And that was like 300 something dollars.
Okay, yeah, put a link in the chat, and then we'll follow up and
Yeah,
maybe plan a
I'm trying
meeting
to get
around it.
back over to that window. But yeah, I looked at it and I was like, this is, I mean, I had kind of already told myself, I had theoretical price predictions, but they're theory. They could be fucking smoke and mirrors, or hallucinations for that matter. Knowing where the market is really at is difficult. You got to kind of go up and look at all kinds of things. Where do you look? And so and this is somebody who I follow anyway. He's a big Cardano follower and Bitcoin. Very knowledgeable, has really good YouTube channel. I watch his stuff all the time. Dan Garambello. And so when he started talking about this, I was like, okay, yeah, let me check it out. And I had to sit there and kind of justify why I was going to spend $340 for something that's going to happen way in the future. But, well, I got all this money in. I don't want to take and do another 4-year trip. So that was my justification to be able to take and actually buy in.
Yeah,
But
cool. All right, yeah, we'll plan a meeting around that, and you can explain and obviously share the screen because that's when people see all the info, that's where it gets really interesting and eye-opening on there.
Well, I would say hit the link and go, take and do the 7-day tour.
There you go.
And,
okay.
It's, I don't know, but it's still got a 40% discount on it. They didn't launch it that long ago.
Okay. Yeah, and then send me the info, a little bit of info on that midnight, because it sounds like something I
Let me
like to play
grab
with,
that.
and then maybe others would as well.
Yeah, I would say, well, here, I know what that one is. It's called, oh, you know what? I don't remember 100% what it is.
Yeah, you can shoot an email. No stress. You got time.
Well, I just faster. Great. I closed the window to it out. Here we go. So I got it. I gotta start it back up again. Yeah, I mean, it's something that, it doesn't cost you really anything to take and do. and you can turn around. Uh, just go to the sm.midnight.gd website. The wizard/wallet is because I've already logged in and started mining the coins. I
Not
think this is one that has a lot. There's been a lot of interest. Um, I know for a fact that Cardano has had multiple countries and a couple states inside of the United States asking about doing on-chain voting.
oh, for
And
sure.
so they have, because most people don't know that much about Cardano because there's no VCs behind it. It's it's like Linux. Who knows what Linux is? Well, shit, it's the only thing I use. I'd rather have an Etch-a-Sketch than a Windows machine. So, but open source projects, me and Eric, out of everybody in the group, kind of are the only ones that I'm aware of, at least, that really track open source. And I've been an open source specialist for the last 30 years. That was kind of why I had to sign up and do that AI course. I've always, quote, focused in disruptive technologies, and then I retire, and it's like, what? And I'm going to sit by and watch AI go down and basically chop up every market that there is and just sit this out now.
Yeah.
So I went and I sunk $3,000 into taking a bunch of courses. And
Jack, I have a question. Since you
Yeah.
mentioned you use Linux, I use Linux too, just a beginner. Is there any way I can connect with you?
sure, 100%. At the very top of, I would tell you easiest, don't, email is, go back and start using smoke signals. That's going to be almost as good. I can give you my phone number and you can text me, or I always answer my phone too. Here, I'm going to put my number in there. Where are you located?
I'm up north, Salinas, California.
Oh, okay.
And
My
yourself?
uh, I am currently in Madera/Fresno. I lived in the Bay Area for 30 years, and in the
What part
East
of the Bay
Bay,
Area? What East Bay?
Hayward specifically. I started. I never intended to move to the Bay Area. I went up there for my 30th birthday to visit with a friend of mine who, she's actually from Salinas. She was a cheerleader when she was in high school there. And I have known her for 30 plus years now. But I went up there to go take and visit her, and her boyfriend basically talked me into, quote, going out and putting in my resume. He says, why don't you get a job up here with everything you've done? At the time I'd been just, my background was electronics and I'd been servicing and selling office equipment. More on the service. I hate sales. I despise sales.
Yeah. Well, you guys can get connected and I'll connect you with that other guy interested in that AI project, Tim, and hopefully you guys can do something there.
Yeah,
Just
I
see what happens.
really would love to hear what that's about.
Yeah. Okay. Good. All right, guys. Well, thanks for joining today. I will post a link to the recording here later today. Chad, we always record the meetings. If you go to also, it should work, FresnoBitcoin.com will take you to what is it called? One of these, a link page that's got links to our previous recordings, future meetings, and basically everything we do, kind of thing. So
The
check that
archive.
out. So, all right, guys, have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you in a few weeks at the me and Ed's for the in person, and then back beginning of December via Zoom.